So I look completely exhausted, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to wipe off my eyeliner. I don't know if I rubbed my eyes or why I look like this, but it's okay. But the other thing I wanted to do was give you all an update on what I've been doing the last week. I think it's been a little over a week at this point, but my first experiment, I guess. So my experiment did not go as planned. I was off from work, the kids were home, and I wanted to rest. I did not get to rest because the kids are home. But I did try to do the experiments, but it was like very confusing, more than I imagined. I was like, I have to give more credit to like homeschooling moms and school teachers, and because like the planning that goes into it. But I learned a lot. So basically as of 2025 there are 10 most like useful ways of not useful, like effective ways. English is my second language. Most effective ways of teaching, and those are like, I can't name them all off the top of my head, but I'll post like a carousel talking about it. But there's like social emotional learning, so it has to be like also like educating kids on like naming your emotions, how like tools for like regulating your emotions and that type of thing. So that's been really informative. There's like active learning, which is like kids want to be hands-on and get up and move around, and or like get breaks from like studying to like get up and kind of like move around their bodies and sit down again or whatever. Involved movement. And then there was something called scaffolding, which I thought was interesting, and it was great for any parent who's like a little bit lazy. I wouldn't say lazy, I would say like we like independent kids, which I am. And it's basically you only get as hands-on as needed for the kid. So like first time you say, okay, I'll do it, and then the second time you kind of go like, let's do it together, and the third time you're like, okay, now you do it. So like only providing as much support as they need and letting them be independent, and that way they learn a lot. There was like working with teams, so like group work, collaborating with other peers, and like talking about what do you think about this, and this is what I think about it, and having those group discussions. Project-based learning, so like real life projects based on what you learn, so kids don't want to just learn about different forms of matter, for example. They want to actually see it. They want to do a project about like a volcano project, or like will it float or not float for density, that type of thing. And I'm like not going in the order that I learned it, so like it's like mushy in my head now. Learning. Oh, the one that I really liked that I thought was interesting was like kids want to see their cultural background and like them being represented in the education. So I was like, okay, that's very cool to know. That's 6 of them, but there's 10 and I cannot remember them, but stay tuned in the carousels and I will post the rest of them. But long story short, I was like going on for a while there, I just realized. But so I learned about the different ways of learning based on science. And then I was like, okay, where do I start with Islamic education? And I was like, well, kind of like the activities and the topics were mushed in my head together. So I was like getting a list of like different topics, which was helpful. So there was like, a lot of people were recommending just starting with the 5 pillars. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just go in order. First pillar, right? First pillar is like having faith and everything that's been revealed, so like God and the prophets and the books and the angels and the unseen, so like, and like believing in those things actually. So I was like, okay, let's start with that. And then I started watching some lectures on it, and then I was like, this is very complicated. I was like, I have to learn it first before I can even teach the kids, so how is this gonna work? So then I was like, okay, and then I had to get my thoughts cleared, so I went through like my older journals and like kind of like things I've been wanting to do. And sorry, I have a bug bite, so if you see me scratching that is why. So there's like stories from the Quran, stories about the prophets and the companions, and then like what else? else was there? I'll have to look at my notes. But so yeah, last week was a learning week. For this week, and then the third thing that I did was I came up with, like, there are so many different types of activities, so I was like, okay, let me try to see if I can simplify all of these things that I want to do into categories. And I came up with like a couple of categories. So like there's board games or like card games, and then there's like craft kits or like STEM kits, like if you've ever seen any of those, where you kind of get all the supplies for the craft, and it's kind of related to some type of Islamic topic. And the third one that I was thinking about was Montessori style toys. So I was like, okay, you know how there's like Melissa and Doug toys, but let's make it like, let's take the Melissa and Doug toys and also focus on how it's related to like being a Muslim as well. So like how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was very kind to animals and how he helped with chores around the house. And then let's get like a little kitty broom and do that type of thing. So which one should I start with though? Which one would be like, I don't know which one would be the best one. So if you guys know, like, let me know of your thoughts. And yeah, I'm excited about this week and to share my progress as I go along. If you are still here with me at this point, listening to me talking, thank you. If you are not, then it doesn't make sense for me to say anything to you because you're not even here. So yeah, I still appreciate you trying to listen to me because I've been rambling a little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, I'll catch you all next week. Take care. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.